does this fail to compile? Okay, so it doesn't fail to compile. So we'll add our default. So default play SFX. And I could just hook in like the default for every one of these and just that'll work. And I'd probably want to do the same thing for the defend. So why don't we just go ahead and go figure out what the defend animations. I'm also going to leave a comment here. If you change, alright, yeah, comment on the multigate. If you change these animation names, make sure to update the effects. Oh man, Stripe just stopped accepting Bitcoin. I guess we're screwed for accepting Bitcoin payments then, if we want to take Bitcoin for rack and sack. So let's start adding them. It's actually, I mean, there is an impressive amount of animation going on that people may not notice in this game. In terms of the number of different animations that Adam has made for different movement states for this character. Like just this pop-up hit has 6 different states that it can play. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a lot of different ways that he's doing literally the exact same thing. Like he's hitting the ball in the same way. Like the code for actually how the ball collides with him, his hitbox. Well, actually his hitbox is different for all of them. But the way the ball interacts with it is the same, so that, you know, people playing the game are never surprised by the outcome of the action. But your brain's like, yeah, that looks right. So you go through this and you're like, man, that's a lot of crap to hook up. And you're like, well, that's why it feels the way it does, and why the character feels like, you know, something that Adam made instead of some tank control Gears of War character. One game code, 1 Bitcoin. Yeah, the game's only $9,000 or whatever. What is the price of Bitcoin right now, anyway? Price of Bitcoin is, it's at 11,000. You know, I don't know. Bitcoin's just, I just don't even give a shit about Bitcoin. It's one of those things where, like, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, you'll kick yourself if, you know, you don't get in or something. And be like, no, actually, I really don't give a shit. I have bigger problems to deal with. Like, my strategy for success in life is not to try to min-max the amount of money I make and do just risky shit. You'd be like, yeah, okay, we got a house, but you could have 3 houses. Be like, I'd rather not bet the farm so that I could get 3 farms. You know, it's just not a very good idea. It's kind of funny though, like people might complain about how long it takes to actually process a Bitcoin transaction. But that might actually be one of its strengths, because one of the, like, it's such a volatile currency. But if you can't like cash out very quickly, then that actually makes it more stable, because panics can't happen so quickly, because nobody can take their money out of it very fast. Alright, so defend and low hit are in there. Let's make sure the defend is working properly. These aren't getting cleaned up. What? Alright, so the defend ability on here isn't always getting cleaned up. So there's got to be some control path returns that are not. I should probably just have these like cleanup effects as a completely separate function. So we'll just say cleanup effects. Have like get defending. That way, like, we just don't even have to worry about this crap. So if defending is false, we'll do that. Let's go to the low hit ability. So if low hitting is false, and we need the same sort of stuff here for low hit ability. So we need to get the low hit effect. So we'll see if it's valid. If it's not valid, then we're going to make it. And I need to do the same thing with the defend. So if it's not valid, then we're going to run all this code to make it. Alright, this will be low hitability, we got that, so if it's not valid, then we set everything with the effects. Cleanup effects needs to actually be called, though. And it should be called at the end of our big ass list of things that we do. So let's make sure that it actually cleans everything up. It at least should not leak anything with some of these tests, though. So even if we screw everything up completely. We are not playing the low hit effect again. Let's see. So if low hitting is false, we're calling request stop on it and all that. So we're not actually getting here, and we're calling this. Okay, so it's because we have these non-returning control paths. Okay, so what I should probably do here is start using a sequence. I haven't been using these sequence nodes very much, and I really should be. Because they enforce flow control without being, it helps with kind of the bugs that I just ran into, where basically you can run these different things in a row and you don't have to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff in order to do it. You just kind of do it like that. Alright, let's go fix the event graph for the high hit effect. And we should do the same thing here, probably. Because we can get rid of all of these squiggles if we just do this. It'll prevent me from accidentally screwing up some of this stuff. Alright, so we have this sequence. And then we just hook it all up like this instead, so we know it's always going to run. Alright, so this should give us our defense and our low hits playing. Let's make sure. Yeah, that sounds correct. Excellent. Okay, so now let's go to the... Let's work up that high hit. So the high hit ability. So we'll get the high hit effect, we'll see if it's valid. If it is not valid, then we'll make a new one. Alright, and we're going to create effect by class with string. And our string is going to be that animation name. We're also going to need to set the high hit effect to this thing, but we need to also attach it. A lot of stuff to do for these effects. That is for sure. But that'll enforce all the things on here. So let's go to our high hit effect. And we need an autoplay SFX. Let's call it default play SFX. Let's take all these things. Auto kill on stop, and then auto string swap. Then we need to go to our construction script. Get our sound map, and then we need to get our animations. So we've got our default add, which will be this guy. So we've got our sound overrides. You got 6 of these. Okay, so that should hook that up. So let's make sure this is actually, I think we're still missing one thing, which is the cleanup effects. No, that looks correct. We've got the event graph unfinished. Alright, so let's listen for the hi-hat effects. That was damn fast. Ah, this guy's a jerk. Get wrecked, you little son of a bitch. Oh shit. It's fucking funny as shit. Alright, so those appear to be hooked up properly. Excellent. Alright, so that'll do that. Alright, so the next thing that I want to work on So we got those overrides, so next thing is I want these team things to only show up when you hit the tab button. So let's go take a look at where those are in the UI. So let's fix it. Alright, so that's going to be in the screen for the in-game screen. I'll pop that open. So I think it's, let's just pop this open in our local UI. So what are these guys? We've got in-game left team master. Alright, so that's going to be the container and everything else. Alright, so it's the in-game left team master that we want to actually like hide and remove. So tab, if stats visible equals, okay, if stats visible equals false, we'll want to do the same thing. So let's see if there's any master. Let's actually grab the master container stuff. So s.m left team master equals this.get child by d, and then we'll have the right team master. Okay, so we'll have the same thing here basically. So let's see how that looks. So it'll look kind of like that. I think that looks better. Yeah, so if you hit tab, it'll show you all the teams and everything else. Otherwise, it's just nice and open UI. Or nice and no UI. Awesome, so we'll do that. Alright, so that's good. He can actually laugh. Wait, what is this? Alright, fine. Yeah, I laugh sometimes. That was one of the things I think in like elementary school. People are like, "Do you ever smile?" And I'd be like, "No." Alright, so that looks like that's working properly. So we got those overrides in there. Alright, so we got that in there. Oh, alright. You probably weren't getting it anyways, most funds for sync transits. Alright, so we got that in there. Are there any other small things that I need to pick up for work here? I mean, we could do the socket stuff, but I think Adam needs to mess around with it a little bit more before. So, let's see. I need to update my calendar. Today is Tuesday. What? Today is Tuesday. What a day. Let's see. I'll at least take a screenshot and tell Adam what's there. I thought we need video proof. It's true. Do need video proof. So let's boot this editor back up. Alright, cool. So that's in there. Awesome. Alright, so otherwise, basically I'd want to go back and start working on the... I could either look into sockets and some of that, or other things. Or I could make that tier 2 emote for the one tier 2 subscriber that I have. But I can't make art. That's not what I do. I usually just make problems for other people. What would I even put for the like a more angry version of myself? I don't know. It's bad enough that I might want to use it. How big are these supposed to be anyway? 128 by 128? Alright. So let's see what this would look like. Just a really fucking awful version. Just that's like what I did with Adam. I sent him like we had some video call stuff at one point, and he looked kind of upset. So I just like took a took a screenshot of it and sent it to him. It was just horribly drawn over with like really angry eyebrows. Alright, I think this one works. Just because it's so stupid. And I can always change it later. You had to screenshot them. You can certainly make a slightly better as. No, that's the whole point. It'd be awful. So let's see. I need to go to settings on my Twitch page or some crap and upload it there. Okay, so additional emoticons. Let's set this guy so small. So we need a 28 by 28. And then we need a 56 by 56. And then what, 112 by 112? Alright, so that's the 28. We've got the 56, and then the 112. Alright, so that's going to be pending. So we'll see when that emote comes through. Alright, so I've gotten that done. I'm going to take a quick look at the socket stuff. I should be able to pop up Resilio Sync and make sure that my art sync folder is good to go, which it is. So let's go take a look at that. No spoilers? I don't know. I think it's the tag is gonna be that. So because I'm usually upset, I'm usually disappointed with things. Alright, so how the fuck do I pan again in this goddamn view? Oh yeah, middle mouse button. Great. Workspace, workspace, workspace. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. That's how you know everything is fucked. Alright, so which animation was he working off of? It's like the corkscrew thing. Can I not just... Alright, so this is the workspace. So it's dash torpedo Whoops, I better not move that. How the fuck do I pan again? I thought it was space or something. I just want to pan the fucking camera. Ah! I hate Harmony. Fine, I'll just use the fucking zoom because I can't pan because I'm an idiot. So for this guy, the position of this is 2.5 east, 5 south. So this is going to be named Dash Torpedo or something. Ambient. Ambient, I'm done. Yeah. It'll just be a picture of the chair. Just ambient chair. It's just like, yeah. I'm finished with this. So kick, dash flip, air tumble, ground pound. It's gonna be high hit, run ground. No, it's gonna be like high hit. I guess it's it's gonna be tornado kick. Dash torpedo. Here we go. So debug dash torpedo. So set to current dash torpedo. We're gonna export to the photo booth. It's been quite a while since I messed around with this. Let's see if it works. Alright, so let's take a look at his sprites. So we got this guy roaming around. So if we take a look at his data, so we should have inside of the sprites here, every frame, we should have the RG pivot, which is in there, and then we have the physics body, rect, and then we have trail 1 socket. So the socket X, Y is 62,124 and 62,124, and it looks like it stays at 62,124 throughout all 8 frames, and it exists on every frame. But obviously we're not moving this thing around. Alright. So I'm guessing what's going on is whatever movement thing we've got on here, which, what is this? Is this it's a peg or some shit? Like we've got frames for all those things. It's probably like that if you look here, there are frames for these things, but also there's like an extra frame at the end for this stuff, which I don't know if that would screw things up, but I don't know why there's an extra frame. So how do these things work? Like, okay, so if I just like get rid of these things, and then if I just add like insert a keyframe here and here, and then insert another keyframe here. We just do it every 2 frames that we've got to change. So I'll take this trail here, and we'll just position it? How the fuck do I even position it? Oh god. Oh god, how do I do things? This sucks. Let's why don't we just make it 2 south? And this one, so that was 3, so like this will be 8. Alright, and again this one will be 2. Actually no, this one's going to be 8. And this one's going to be 2. How do we play? How do we play? How do we play the animation? Shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Alright. Perfect. Let's export this thing again to the photo booth and I couldn't do things. Let's see if I can export it this time. Alright, so if we go back to this guy, we've got our rect, our socket. Alright, and we see our Y is now changing and looks correct as far as I can tell. So if we go into the editor, we should be able to like import that one dude. We should be able to import the Photoshop character and or photo booth character and see if it's all sorts of screwed up or not. Alright, so if we go to, let's just load up a level here so we know our assets are working. Gonna hang out with the Bitey crew under the bridge where all the cool people live. Alright, so if we go to edit character import tool, let's just import photo booth character, and let's also have our output log open. Let's see what happens. Alright, so we're going to check them out. And let's import them again, just to clear out all the sprites that don't exist, I think. It should delete a whole bunch of crap. Alright, so if we go to our photo booth character, we've got our flipbook, and what in the fuck is going on with those trails? They're looks like they're offset by a certain amount. So like they're animating correctly, but they're not in the right position. Like their positions are wrong. So why is their position wrong? Like they're basically acting as if they're way down here for some reason. So where's the location of that pivot on our frame? So our pivot is at 58, 128. Okay. And our socket is at 62, negative 124. So 58, 128. So 50, it's in the right X, and negative 128. So the socket is looking like it's in the right spot, like it's right next to the pivot. But when we import it, it's not in the right position, is it? So the question is, why not? So if we went to these individual frames, so we went to this thing here, and we went to our socket. We've got trail 1, trail 2, trail 1, 0, trail 2, L0. What the fuck? Local transform is that sort of thing. So it's like the local transform is based off of the origin of this thing, but it needs to not be. So this needs to be like, this needs to be like minus 58, and this needs to be like plus 128. Yeah. Okay, so what's going on is the import script is not offsetting by the pivot location for these guys. And it looks like also the trail the trail 2 is spelled tray 2L as opposed to trail. That's a separate issue though. Okay, so this is wrong based on the import code. So what we need to do is go to our, we'll just save that.